In today's video, I would like to talk about personality development in man and woman and latency stage. Let's get started. In latency stage that occur between the years of 6 and the years of the puberty, pretty much around 13-14 years old, when both son and daughter develop their sexual item, the sexual erogenous item, like the characteristic of the sexual characteristic of men and the sexual characteristics of a woman. And between this stage, the child temporarily abandon the desire for the sexual desire, and relocate as to use a metaphor, redirect the libido, the sexual pleasure and the sexual desire into hobbies, into games, into friendship with other peers. And she's doing that to discover the world, be part of the world, gain a sense of identity, gain a sense of morality. And because in this stage, when the libido is redirecting, discover, how the maths work, how the English work, how other language works, and learning and teaching to other peers, discover how the things work practically and theoretically. And if the energy is still in the sexual pleasure, the child can do this, can jump into this stage, can jump into this perspective, and with this perspective, he can gain a sense of real morality, a real sense of consciousness that is within him and within her. And after that, he can regain a sense of sexuality. And in another phase, when we're talking about the other phase in the last video of this series, the genital phases, he redirect the libido, the transformating libido, into a sense of morality, consciousness, and real sense of self, into pleasure for another woman and for another man. And as Freud said, if the sexual stages follow through really in a healthy way, the object of attention is heterosexual. And if there is a gap, or there is some blockages or some stuckness, it can lead to sexual perversion, or can be a cause without any judgment and without any I don't want to put into this any sense of illness or any sense of disability, of abnormality, but there is just what it is what it is. And if the genital stage doesn't follow through good, and the other previous stage, when the sense of personality is gained from 0 years to 5 years old, can lead to, how I said, sexual perversion, fetishism, and also homosexuality in some cases. To jump back into the latency stage, is the stage when the child discover how the pendulum works, and discover a lot of, for example, invention from Leonardo da Vinci. To give you an example, you can discover how they work. You can discover this this abstraction. He can think in an abstractive ways, using ideas, using abstract object, and using a sense of fantasy, is creative fantasy, a sense of logic, and a sense of real. He can manage thinking in different way, not just the practical, but also the theoretical and ideological things. It occurs after 7 years old, because at the start of the latency stage, the child need to gain a sense of abstraction that is not already gained, because when in an experiment, when a puppet hidden an object, and this puppet go away, and another puppet come in and hidden the same object, take the object and in another place. The first was the play A, and this is the play B. When the puppet came, they ask you to a child where the puppet need to look for the object, and the child in this period before the age of 7, he hasn't got the abstraction, he hasn't got the way to think. The puppet, the second puppet, the first puppet doesn't know where the second puppet hidden the object, and he said on the same place where the second puppet hidden the object, in the place B. And when after the year of 7, and pretty much is growing up at the year of 12, when is the full completion of the latency stage, the child say under the hidden place A, because he can sense, he can know the first puppet doesn't know where the object is, and is still convinced is in the place A when he left the object. And after that, after a gain of a sense of morality, of a sense of ego already structured in the other stages, the child can have an idea of his future and of her future. And is important in this stage, the parents give a direction, but give also the child a sense of freedom, a self of identity, a self of real consciousness, and don't project in the child their insecurities and their unrealized dream for the future, but they need to act as a guidance to help the child to discover the part of himself and the part of herself, to gain a sense of path, a sense of lead into her or his future, without any blockages, without any impairment. And also the parents need to have also develop a morality within that is far away for a fake sense of morality. There is just hell, and there is just punishment, and there is just this brutal this brutal sense of lose something, or be ugly, or be not enough, because can lead also the child to be not enough, to have a not very good target at school, and it's not helpful for his or her personality, a self of self. There is a real sense and a really structure and real free in some way to think outside of the box, sense of superego and sense of morality within that it's reflecting without, and it lead the child to his future and also to his future partner with the genitalia spaces. And we talk about the genitalia spaces in the next video. I would like to say thank you everybody, and I will go into work in a little while. I will make a video really soon. Everybody have a nice day. See you each other another time. Bye.